How to implement a simple risk management framework. Let's talk about AI risk in business. First, an analogy. I have a German Shepherd named Zeus. I take him for walks every day, rain or snow or shine. Every walk is an adventure. There are risks. He might lunge at somebody, pull me onto the icy ground, chase after a rabbit, or even break free from the leash. I could completely get rid of those risks by giving him up for adoption. But that'll suck the joy out of my life. It's the same with using AI in business. Sure, it's new territory with its own set of challenges. We've got to think about how it can change our operations, the ethical questions it raises, and even how our clients might react. But avoiding AI altogether is not an option in today's world. So we've got to be smart about this, recognizing the risks, figuring out their impact, and deciding how to handle them. Do we avoid, mitigate, accept, or transfer the risk? Think of it as finding the right balance, just like managing Zeus on his leash. Let's not shy away from AI, but let's be prepared to manage it effectively, tackling it head-on and leading the way. Let's explore different kinds of risks that AI might pose. Data privacy risk. AI runs on data and lots of it. There's always the risk of sensitive data getting exposed or mishandled. Think about a customer data breach. Not only is this a PR nightmare, but it also leads to trust issues and potential legal troubles. Bias and discrimination. AI is only as unbiased as its training data. If the data is skewed, the AI's decision could be discriminatory. Imagine an AI hiring tool that favors candidates from a certain background. This will be unethical, unfair, and limit diverse talent acquisition. Operational risks. Integrating AI into our systems isn't always smooth. There could be disruptions in workflow, incompatible systems, leading to wrong decisions, to operational setbacks. Picture an AI inventory system wrongly predicting stock levels. It could mess up the whole supply chain. Compliance risks. With AI, regulatory compliance becomes trickier. Different regions have different laws about AI usage. If our AI crosses a line, say in data handling or decision making, we could face legal issues. Reputation risks. If our AI does something controversial or makes a glaring error, it reflects on our entire brand. A social media algorithm that inadvertently promotes inappropriate content could cause a public backlash. Security risks. AI systems are complex and can be target for cyber attacks. An AI-powered security system, if hacked, could expose the entire business to risks. Dependency risks. Relying too much on AI could make us vulnerable. If the AI system fails or gets outdated, our operations could be severely impacted. Imagine if our AI-driven customer service crashes. We would be scrambling to handle client queries. Hallucinations. AI can sometimes generate false or misleading information, like visual or data hallucinations. Think of a medical AI misinterpreting scan results, leading to incorrect diagnosis. Job displacement. This is a big one. AI automates tasks, which is great, but it can also lead to job losses or a need for a different kind of skill. Imagine if the need for white-collar financial advisors is reduced. Privacy concerns. Beyond data breaches, there is worry of constant surveillance and data collection. like an AI monitoring tool in the workplace that feels too invasive for employees. Lack of transparency and explainability. AI's decision making can be a black box. If an AI loan application system rejects a candidate and we cannot explain why, which is a problem for both trust and compliance. Reduced human skills. Relying on AI can dull our own skills. Think about our GPS in cars. It's a great tool, but some people are losing their sense of direction because they rely on it too much. Unintended consequences and misuse. AI might be used for purposes that it wasn't intended for, leading to harmful outcomes. Like deepfake technology. It has creative uses, but it's also a tool for misinformation. Ethical and moral considerations. AI poses new ethical dilemmas. For instance, how should an autonomous vehicle prioritize lives in an unavoidable accident? Control and autonomy. There's risk that AI making decisions without human input where it's critically needed. Imagine an automated trading system making large, unsupervised investments. Environmental impact. AI systems, especially large ones, consume a lot of energy. The carbon footprint of training a large AI model can be substantial. Each of these risks need three things. 1. Governance, like the local government that lays down the rules about where I can or cannot take Zeus. 2. Auditability, like the role my wife plays when she makes sure that I'm prepped for the walks. And 3. A strategy on how I would handle different risks that I may encounter when walking Zeus. Let me talk about auditing and strategy, since those are direct responsibilities of the business. Think of auditing this way. Before I step out with Zeus, my wife will check the weather, like assessing the AI environment, make sure I have my phone, emergency contact, similar to having a risk management plan, the leash, that's like control measures, a helmet if I'm riding the bike with Zeus running next to me, that is equivalent to the safety protocols, and of course the essentials like poop bag and water, which is equivalent to compliance with the regulations and ethical standards. Initially, I used to fail her random checks. Then I got better over time. That's the goal with AI in business too. Auditors play this crucial role in making sure that we're not just compliant, but also continuously improving how we manage AI risks. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of handling these AI risks. There are a few AI risk guidance or framework that you can leverage that ranges from the European Union's AI Act to NIST's AI Risk Management Framework. Many of these suggestions are optional, and wading through these documents is like trying to read an encyclopedia while Zeus is tugging at his leash. They're packed with useful information, but man, extracting actionable items is a chore. Different interpretations can also lead to different actions. For example, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework is over 220 pages and covers 4 functions. That's governance, mapping, measuring, and managing, with many categories and subcategories under them. So what we really need, in plain terms, is a straightforward way to understand and handle AI risks. Think of it as making a checklist before the dog walk. Simple and clear. Once you've got that sorted, we can tackle each risk in a way that makes sense for us, not based on some dense one-size-fits-all manual. We have to make AI risk management actionable by our teams and not some abstract concept. When evaluating risks in the AI landscape, there are a few things to consider. Probability. How likely could an AI risk happen? When I walk Zeus, the likelihood of a plane crashing upon us is extremely low. Severity. When an AI risk happens, what are the consequences? If the plane does crash, it's like a black swan event. It's going to be catastrophic, killing both Zeus and me. Detectability. How easily can we spot a risk before it becomes a problem? It's like knowing the signs of Zeus getting restless before he decides to chase after a squirrel. Mitigability. Can we reduce the impact of a risk if it does occur? It's thinking about whether I can calm Zeus down if he gets too excited. Responsibility. Who's accountable for managing each risk? Just like on our walks, is it me keeping an eye on Zeus, or do I need help from someone else? Duration of the impact. How long would the risk affect us if it materializes? It's similar to considering how long would it take to get Zeus back on track if he pulls me into snowbanks. Perhaps I might be injured and have to be taken to the hospital for a longer time. Interconnectedness. How does one risk affect another? Sometimes one of Zeus's action can lead to a chain of events, like him scaring a cat, which then darts across the street, causing a car to brake, which in turn causes a truck behind the car to rear-end the car, resulting in a really bad accident. Resource requirements. What resources do we need to manage these risks? This is like making sure I have enough treats and water for Zeus during the walk. Taking these into account gives us a fuller picture, like being fully prepared for all of Zeus's antiques. This way we can plan better and not just react when things happen. The AI technology itself. Some AI is less riskier than others. For example, traditional machine learning that uses linear regression is less risky than using generative AI, where the space of outputs can be much wider. Taking Zeus on a walk is less risky than having him ride besides me when I'm riding a bicycle, because his tail could get caught in the bicycle wheel, leading to a plethora of other problems. Okay, we might have a number of AI projects going on. We need to use these different dimensions for analysis against each type of risk, score these different projects. For example, a generative AI system that incorrectly sends sensitive information about one user to another may result in severe brand damage, such as the case when Target sent coupons for baby items to the address of a man who did not know that his daughter was pregnant. Target knew before the daughter's dad did. This could happen with Gen AI. This is the intersection of the interconnectedness dimension with the privacy risk. So, how do you think about holistic risk across all these dimensions and across all these types? Well, start with organizing them as a simple table. Each project will have its own set of potential surprises. The AI project will form the rows of this table. We also chart out the risks we talked about, like privacy, hallucinations, security, etc. These will form our columns. Now, for each project and risk, we're going to play a scoring game. We rate each risk on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 means everything is cool, no issues. And 10 is like a full-blown crisis. Think company-shaking stuff. We're not just guessing these scores. We're considering all the angles and how bad things could get. How likely is it to happen? And who's keeping an eye on it? And can we see it coming? And so on. All these factors feed into the score. This way, when risk scores are high, it's a big red flag. It's our cue to take a closer look. Why is the scoring high? Is it really a tough risk to manage? Does it have a big potential impact? This method gives us clear focus, like knowing exactly why a particular route with Zeus might need some extra caution and prep. It's a bit subjective, sure, but it's also systematic. So when someone in the C-suite spots a high number, they can trace it back to see what's pushing it up. It's all about having a clear map to navigate all these risks, much like planning the safest, most enjoyable route for our walk with Zeus. Starting manually is smart. This way, the team understands the underlying framework and mechanics well without being some black box. As the projects and the risk management maturity in AI grows, we start adding bells and whistles to our dashboard. Take our AI prediction model, for instance. We set up monitoring systems that alert us when something is off, like the model's output or way outside the normal ranges. It's like having a leash that buzzes if Zeus starts to pull on it too hard, a heads up that something might need our attention. These alerts feed right into the dashboard. Over time, as we get more sophisticated tools and processes, most of this becomes automated. The key here is flexibility. Our dashboard needs to be designed to easily integrate these new tools and processes as they come along. Think of it as a living system, always adapting and improving. It's a journey, much like evolving from a casual dog walker to a pro dog trainer. Another important idea with this framework is that it can help with new requirements and tools. Conceptually, you can continue to add more rows as projects in AI increase, and more columns as more types of risks are identified. And over time, even more factors can go into the risk computation score. So here's the deal. Our journey with Zeus, whether it's walking him or biking alongside as he jogs, is a great backdrop to understand AI risk management. It's all about starting with the basics, the manual process, and slowly getting better and automated. Yet, you can confidently explain the risk management framework in simple terms. This framework is easily adaptable to the changing environment, whether it's a new compliance requirement or a shift in your AI strategy. And the best part, as these things change, like regulations, compliance, reporting, we are not just reacting. We're proactively managing and adapting, thanks to our solid grasp of our risk management framework. Incidentally, you could get a jump start with this framework by stealing some of the functions, categories, and subcategories that you might be interested in from the NIST AI risk management framework. We're not just ticking boxes. We're truly understanding and navigating the landscape of risks in the AI space. It's about being agile, staying informed, and always ready to adapt, just like how we would take Zeus on different routes and new adventures. Hiking with Zeus in the Grand Canyon, anyone? If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. For a one-page visual summary of this and all future videos, please sign up on my mailing list. Thank you for watching.